Well, it is officially happening, everybody. President Trump has issued the military to be deployed to Greenland right now as we speak. Things are absolutely getting incredibly insane, and it's all while football is going on. The NCAA championship is taking place right now. Reason I'm bringing that up is President Trump got a massive roar of applause at the game, and Secretary Marco Rubio is also there. So let's get right into this because I'm sure everyone is completely excited to see what the heck is going on. There you go. There's our boy being cheered on. Then you also have Rubio on the ground. Big day for America. Big day for America. I'll tell you that. So here you go from a NORAD account. You have North American Aerospace Defense Command. Aircraft will soon arrive at the base in Greenland, along with aircraft operating from bases in the continental United States and Canada. They will support various long-planned NORAD activities, building on the enduring defense cooperation between the U.S. and Canada, as well as the Kingdom of Denmark. This activity has been coordinated with the Kingdom of Denmark, and all supporting forces operate with the requisite diplomatic clearances. The government of Greenland is also informed of planned activities. NORAD routinely conducts sustained dispersed operations in the defense of North America through one or all three NORAD regions, which would be Alaska, Canada, and the continental US. Even the Italian Prime Minister Meloni says that Trump was open to dialogue on Greenland, but Europe sent mixed signals that looked anti-American. She wants to remind everybody that the US is not a threat or an enemy. She is the only European voice of reason today.
I've studied Trump in depth, watched his moves, retroactively studied him in his earlier life before I really started focusing on him about 10, 12 years ago. And he's not always playing 3D chess. He's not always outmaneuvering super mastermind stuff. But when it comes to business and geopolitics, when it comes to shaking up the old order, he is a savant. And the entire global corporate media is in absolute meltdown mode over his letter to NATO and to Denmark over Greenland that, well, since I didn't get my peace prize, I guess it's war then.
That letter that he's referring to is this one right here. Considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars plus, I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, although it will always be predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America. I have done more for NATO than any other person since its founding, and now NATO should do something for the United States. And all of this is happening literally right as we are on the brink of all the world leaders going to Davos for this like World Economic Forum meeting, which is going to be absolutely insane. I mean, Trump is going to just completely expose the corruption there and destroy everybody. Right from the White House official account, NATO has been telling Denmark for 20 years that you have to get the Russian threat away from Greenland. Unfortunately, Denmark has been unable to do anything about it. Now it is time, and it will be done. President Donald J. Trump. Caroline Levitt has shared this article here from the Daily Wire saying, Besson says, fight for the Arctic is real and Greenland essential to national security. And I absolutely agree with that. Here you got some NORAD aircrafts taking off, landing on the way to Greenland. Love that sound. Then you have Hungary that blocks a joint EU statement on Greenland. 2 parties, Denmark and the USA, must negotiate their bilateral issues. It is not an issue for the European Union. So you even got parts of Europe that are like, hey, whoa, man, we don't want the heat, we don't want the smoke.
Mi ezt egy kétoldalú ügynek tartjuk, amelynek megoldása a két fél tárgyalásain keresztül lehetséges. Én ezt nem tartom egy Európai Uniós ügynek, ezért a tegnapi napon is az állandó képviselők tanácskozásán jeleztük, hogy nem tartjuk szükségesnek és ezáltal lehetségesnek sem egy közös EU-s nyilatkozat kiadását.
As you can see, it seems like a lot of countries are now standing out of the way. They want nothing to do with it. Senior Republicans warned that Trump invading Greenland would end your presidency. A GOP senator reportedly called a military move against a NATO ally not a policy shift, but a suicide note for his presidency. Bills already introduced in both chambers to block federal funds for any military action. Danish combat troops have arrived in Greenland today. Trump's own party drew a line, source The Guardian. And this is where it gets a little crazy, right? Because you can see even a comment here, guys, let's be real. He's not actually going to go and physically invade Greenland. Like, I don't think that that's going to be the case at all. We know that he's saying that, and that is putting some, social media fear and media fear into people. But the reality is there will be a financial transaction, several $billion, and that's going to be dispersed to the people of Greenland, and then American capitalism comes in and is going to basically, be another part of America. You've got Denmark deploying troops. Oh my goodness. This is starting to turn into like the plot of a movie. And here's what President Trump said a couple of weeks ago.
Your references to Greenland and the Panama Canal, so forth. Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us a little bit?
Okay, so all of this is being said. What are we actually dealing with the facts right now? Let's cut through all of this. So right now you see all these troops that are being deployed to Greenland, right? Denmark is sending them. Canada is sending troops. Okay. So all of that, these were pre-planned missions, military joint operation missions for training exercises, for patrolling the Arctic. Like, this was already pre-planned. So all of the troops that you're seeing that are being deployed, they were already scheduled to go for training exercises, for joint operations. So that has nothing to do with Trump saying that he's going to take Greenland. What is going to happen is a massive financial transaction between the United States and with Greenland for Greenland to be American. It could be another state. We don't really know, but this did happen with Alaska back in the 1800s, and it's going to happen with Greenland this year in 2025, probably in the first half of 2025. If the president of the United States is saying that the United States needs to acquire Greenland for military strategic strategy, right, to basically be able to control the Arctic and make sure that missiles aren't coming, submarines aren't sneaking their way in, even though the United States military already has equipment and a base there. If they're saying that they need to step it up for national security, there is nothing that Trump's own party can do to block him, because it's under the guise of national security. The people of Greenland are going to prosper the way that Alaska prospered when it became a part of the United States, and has been doing very well ever since. So there's no need to panic. There's not going to be bullets flying and, friendly fire, and European Union is not going to try to attack America. Like, it's all going to work out. But just in case it doesn't, you're going to want to make sure to stay subscribed, or subscribe if you haven't yet already. Hit that like button, turn on post notifications so you don't miss a single update. And I will see you guys in another video. Bye for now.